Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we have another video where I will teach you all of the shades and uses of the verb mettere. You will review the conjugation and learn common sentences that use this verb in different forms, I would say. The most basic meaning of the verb mettere is to put, to place. And I'm sure you know that one. Let's immediately go through the conjugation and I will tell you some examples later on. The conjugation of the present tense, and say it with me, just to review, is io metto, tu metti, lui, lei mette, noi mettiamo, voi mettete, loro mettono. Let's put them into sentences that we immediately master it and make it ours. Metto I libri sul tavolo. I put the books on the table. Metti le chiavi nella borsa. Put the keys in the bag. Ho messo il bicchiere sul ripiano. I put the glass on the shelf. So this is how you just simply conjugate and you put it into a sentence. But as you know, the best way to learn and level up your Italian is to truly see how verbs are used in context and real life sentences that Italians commonly use, okay? I want to give you a list of uses that you can learn and use immediately, okay? So I want to give you the verb mettere, but inside specific forms that make this verb common, super common in the Italian language. The first form of this verb is in a reflexive form, and it's the verb mettersi plus clothing. For example, mi metto la giacca, meaning I put on my jacket. So mettersi means to put on clothing. Another example, ti sei messo le scarpe nuove? Did you put on the new shoes? So when you're thinking about mettersi, you are also thinking about clothing and you're thinking about wearing something, putting on something. You can also have mettersi a plus an infinitive. In this case, you're using it to say that you're going to start doing something. For example, si è messo a studiare alle 8 di sera. He started studying at 8 in the evening, meaning that's when he started to do something. Mi sono messa a cucinare. I started cooking. You can also have mettere in plus a noun, and it means to put into or involve or invest. Let's look at some examples. Metti il sale nell'acqua bollente. Put the salt in the boiling water. So you're physically taking something and putting it in something else. But it can also be something that's not so physical, that you cannot touch so much. For example, I can say, ha messo molta energia nel progetto. He put a lot of energy into the project. In this case, it's the time that he invested, the energy that he invested in a project. The next one, I think it's very important. You might not have heard about this one. It's more of a fixed expression, so sort of study it as a fixed expression. And it can be mettere plus bene, mettere plus male, mettere plus paura, mettere plus a disagio. So you have lots of options here, but they're all related to an emotional reaction. Okay, that's why I placed them all together. Let's look at the examples and I'm sure you will understand a little bit better. Mi mette a disagio quando urla. It makes me feel uncomfortable when he screams. So, mettere a disagio is when you feel uncomfortable. Okay? Quella notizia mi ha messo ansia. That news gave me anxiety. Okay? That's like a sentence that I could say all the time. You can also have mettere bene, mettere male. For example, there's a fight. People are arguing and you're like, it's not gonna go down in the right way. You could say si mette male. In this case, you're saying, oh, things are going to be ugly, so it's gonna be something bad happening soon. On the other hand, you can use bene when something is happening and it's evolving into a positive way. Si mette bene per me, meaning, oh, things are going to be turning good for me. The next one is mettersi d'accordo, and it means to reach an agreement. So for example, you are in Italy, you're buying a house and you need to decide on the price, and you can say ci siamo messi d'accordo sul prezzo. We agreed on the price. We did talk about the conjugation at the present tense, but what happens at the past? So if you have a passato prossimo, you have to remember that you need an auxiliary verb. So with mettere, the auxiliary verb is a little bit tricky, okay? Because most of the time, mettere uses avere as the auxiliary verb when it's conjugated in the passato prossimo. So usually the formula is avere plus messo. Ho messo il libro sul tavolo. Abbiamo messo le sedie in cucina. Now, I said most of the times you use avere, so you know that there's a little tricky exception here. The rule of thumb is, if mettere is transitive, meaning it has a direct object, you use the auxiliary verb avere. But when mettere becomes reflexive, so mettersi, usually with the meaning to put on clothes or with the meaning to start doing something, the auxiliary changes and you will need to use essere. The formula is essere plus messo. Be careful, you have the verb essere, so you know that you will need to match gender and number, and they need to agree with the subject. So both essere and messo need to match. For example, mi sono messa il cappotto. I put on my coat. Messa, I used an A because I identify as a woman. Mi sono messa il cappotto. Mario si è messo le scarpe nuove. Mario put on his new shoes. In this case, I'm using a name that's Mario. That's usually a name that identifies a male. And so I will use messo to match gender and number. Ci siamo messi a studiare alle 8. We started studying at 8 o'clock. So we're talking about a plural form. You need to match gender and number. Siamo messi. So if you just wanted to study one of them, you did not want to study all of them, I suggest that you begin with mettersi a plus an infinitive. We use it all the time. So you could say mi sono messa a leggere. Ci siamo messi a correre. Lui si è messo a gridare, okay? This is super common. Little practice for you. In the PDF that you can download for free, you are going to find a little exercise. The exercise is going to tell you to choose the correct auxiliary between essere and avere to create a sentence with mettere. You can download for free the PDF by clicking on the link that you find below this video, and you have the exercise and obviously the answers. If you do not want to click anywhere and just want to start practicing with me, then just simply take one of the different examples that I have given you and write a sentence with mettere in the comments. I am more than happy to check it for you. This is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Please subscribe to my channel. It's super helpful for me. It helped me to keep up these free materials. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week. Un bacio.